We got to see what they traded away. But
I can tell you they traded a lot of draft picks.
Yeah, but hold on.
This is.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you think this is a bigger story for the Packers? Do you think this is a Packer story, or do you think it's a Cowboys story?
It's both.
Go ahead.
This is the Khalil Mack trade, which is one of the craziest trades in NFL history. Khalil Mack was the multiple-time All-Pro, second contract. The team that drafted him didn't do it. The most ever given up to get him, and then the biggest contract ever for a defensive player. That's what the Bears.
It didn't work out that well.
That's what I'm hoping for as a Bears fan here.
But do you think that's going to happen?
The Packers are much better than the Bears were when they acquired Khalil Mack. So this is what the Packers are betting on. This is the missing piece. We've got the quarterback under contract. We've got the coach. We hired the new defensive coordinator last year that got all of the turnovers and the takeaways. We've got the young offense, the really young wide receiver core. They've missed on a few first-round picks on defense. And now they have arguably the best, well, not argue, he is the best young defensive player in football because he is 3 and 4 years younger than TJ Watt and Myles Garrett. So for the Packers, this is, we're going to try to win the Super Bowl right now.
Yeah.
And for the Cowboys, the story is, we blew it.
Well, so hold on. You're saying
they blew it.
You blew it.
But hold on. You're saying, because you brought up an interesting question earlier, which was is doing this actually good? And it's something like trading, giving up. It's something you've talked about a lot in the past. The Barnwell thing of it's the most expensive way to get a player. So if you think trading multiple picks just to pay the most money anybody's ever paid for a player ever is bad, then if you're a Bear, if you don't like the Packers, you should be happy.
Well, so here's the thing. It didn't work out for the Bears, and I comp it to Khalil Mack because of the age and the position. Khalil Mack,
like you said, the team wasn't nearly as good.
And the team wasn't nearly as good. What the Packers are hoping for is that it's when the Rams traded for Jalen Ramsey. This has happened 3 times this century. The modern NFL, multiple first-round picks for a defensive player, and we have it. It's Jamal Adams.
That was a disaster.
Well, it's quietly one of the worst trades ever.
This is not a bad trade.
That was a position, too.
This is
Adams
an
being
awesome day in in Bay.
Absolutely. Does anybody disagree with that?
Well, here's my question is, we're glossing over the number is staggering. Staggering, bro. That's 47. Drew was saying 90 minutes ago, and I agreed with you, that 41 would be a great job. You know what I mean? And so that part is staggering. It definitely makes sense if the Packers win the Super Bowl. It also, but it also, I'm digesting this in real
really are
time.
questioning this for the Packers?
Well, Howie Long came on yesterday and said this could be their Herschel Walker trade. We weren't doing shows when the Cowboys traded away Herschel Walker, people thought that they lost. They won. There is an...
Wow. Okay. This is just them fluttering right now. This is actually pretty hilarious because I've never really seen these guys try to react to something in real time without having hours of preparation. And this is what you get, a great big mess. Of course, this is a massive swing and a massive win for the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, obviously recording this right now, we don't know exactly what they gave up. Obviously, it's probably going to be a ton of draft capital, which is totally fair and fine. The Packers believe in their offense, believe in Jordan Love, believe in, first off, who they drafted offensively. They're who should ideally for them be a big-time wide receiver. Their defense was awesome last year, and now they're trying to take a gigantic step forward defensively, a gigantic step forward to really be I don't want to say game changer. I want to say team changer for this franchise. When you look at where the Packers were over these last couple of years, this is where it's really tough because in football, it really is the definition of, so close, but so far, right? It's always it's just inches. And it's just if you're a millimeter short of a first down on fourth down, you don't got it. Turnover on downs, right? So it's it's really the definition of so close yet so far. So it's always like hard to really gauge, like, well, how close were you? You know, what does this all mean? How do we make sense of it all? But the Packers draft and develop people incredibly well. And now they have a bunch of pieces and some younger pieces. Like, they have this interesting mix where they're still, I think, still probably the youngest team in the NFL. They're still kind of developing now. Like I said earlier, one of their who will probably be their main offensive weapon eventually, if not this coming year, is a rookie, right, who they just drafted, who they're expecting to now usher in this new high-powered offense with Jordan Love. And you obviously have Matt LaFleur running it, and now you bring in an absolute monster defensively to be able to get this defense on par with what the Eagles were, the Chargers were, the Chiefs have been, the Brock. Like, you take this big step forward defensively, which then now allows the offense to be able to, there's not as much now offensively. What's the word I want to use here? There's not as much urgency of this offense better unleash, this offense better just look to just tee off. There's not as much pressure with that now. I mean, this is going to be huge. And if you look at it from the Dallas Cowboys perspective, the reason why this is a mistake, because Jerry Jones in his defense, he drafts pretty well as well. I mean, he's built a lot of great teams over the years, albeit they come up short. Obviously, you just paid for Dak Prescott. You paid for CD Lamb. Dak Prescott's near the end of his career. That's not controversial at all. And you hired a new coach, like, you have a new coordinator now. Like, you're in a win now mode with Dak Prescott. If you were not looking to win now, then you probably should have just unloaded then Dak, CD, and like, if you want to just start over, well, then start over, man. And then it's just like, then why pay anyone at this point? Why pay anyone? Usher in a complete new era and have all this draft capital, and then hire a new coach. Then you can be aggressive in the draft. Then you can draft a high-level up-and-coming in quarterback, combine him with now your new head coach, which again could have been a Ben Johnson at the time, or even a Harbaugh if we go back a year before that. Like, if this was going to be what you were willing to do, it's like, well, then you should have really taken a significantly bigger swing. Now you're just going to kind of kick the can down the road, and you'll be able to draft some really good players, but you're going to have an old aging Dak Prescott by the time those players become anything, and then you're going to have to move on from Dak. And then now who's going to be your quarterback? And your team will probably not be that great, which means, I don't know, you're either going to stick it out with Schanheimer, which, I mean, maybe, I guess, and then more, you're going to have to now fire your coach. And then by the time you now get a quarterback back in here that's like kind of gone through his growing pains, CD Lamb now is going to be older now. Like, I don't know. And you made the move, right? You literally traded and made the move for Pickens and stuff. And like, are you going to pay him now? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no real guidance here. There's no real guidance here at all. It's like, what's the actual plan? What are you going to do with which should probably be a ton of draft capital? Like, what are you going to do with that, with a coach who you're like, how good is this coach going to be? And with a quarterback who's on the wrong side of the age timeline here right now, I mean, what do we think? Dak Prescott's got another 8 years. Like, no. So what's like that? That's what I'm kind of getting at here. It's like, what's the actual plan? I would be more interested if you had like a 23-year-old quarterback, right? Then I would be like, okay, that's interesting. It's going to take a minute or two, right? Then we would say patience. You're going to really be able to build this team up, and you're going to be able to start from fresh, and yet you still have CD Lamb and Pickens. Like, you still have like legitimate weapons for this young quarterback to kind of build off of. But you'll be able to fortify the O-line. You'll be able to rebuild the defense and really be less concentrated into like a Micah Parsons, and be able to kind of get real young and cheap on defense. Like, then I could understand, I can make the argument, but it doesn't fit the timeline with Dak Prescott and a new coach Schanheimer, where it's kind of like, I don't know, you kind of have to figure out who he's worth, what he's worth. So that's why I look at it where I'm just like, the Packers know what they're looking to do. They are focused on, we are trying to win a Super Bowl right now. So yeah, we are going to take a big swing. That is what we are going to do, and I support that. I support that. And they're a good drafting. They're such a good draft and development team that I trust their ability if they, have to get rid of, their first round picks and whatnot, that they will find their way through it, that I am confident in. And yeah, I don't know. It's a fascinating move, and it's why the NFL is undefeated. But, if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, a move like this is signaling we're not going to win for years. That's what that means. We are not going to win for years. And if you're not going to win for years, then you're not going to win with Dak Prescott. And then you're going to have to start this whole operation again with a new quarterback. And like I said, realistically, that would be, we're being honest here, at least minimum 2 years from now. Minimum best case scenario. If we start it from now, 2028 is when you got a new quarterback, but then he would be like a rookie or a first-year starter, and you're going to have all this draft capital that you've been drafting all these young guys, but then it's just like Schottenheimer leading is Schottenheimer leading that way. Like I said, CeeDee Lamb's already now looking for another contract, and also now is flirting with the age of like, I'm kind of near the end. I don't know, man. And then now you're giving Jerry Jones all this draft capital at a very rough age for him when all this is going to come into fruition. So yeah, man. And I have no desire to try to compare this to previous big trades of the past. It just, it doesn't mean anything to me, honestly, to be like, well, what about Herschel Walker? And what about, this? And I'm just like, doesn't matter. And the Packers are clearly a significantly better run team than what the Chicago Bears have been for God knows how long. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? We use this too much blockbuster trade breaking news. This is blockbuster, man. This is box office. This is breaking news. That's why I quickly jumped on here and tried to record this as quickly as possible. But watching them try to, swim in the water, trying to figure out like how to make sense of this was actually pretty funny. And there, I say a little revealing, but let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it, and please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.